Hello, all my amazing, beautiful authors, all of you great individuals. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ignite Live. We're doing some fun stuff this week. All kinds of fun things are happening because it's my birthday at the end of the week and I'm looking forward to it. And I just realized it's my birthday at the end of the week. Actually, one of my team members reminded me, I was like, oh, book that on Sunday, book that on Sunday. And they're like, somebody's birthday's on Sunday. I'm like, whose birthday's on Sunday? And then I was like, oh, it's mine. So I was like, okay, so it's birthday week and I haven't even been doing it. I know. I got to get on it and get some excitement and have some fun going on because it's my birthday. It's going to be a fun time. Well, I want to thank you all for being here because we've had an incredible June, incredible May, and it's just going to get bigger and better and funner and more, more exciting as we keep igniting lives and doing the things that we do. And so one of the things we talk about at Ignite Live is mini Ignite. Some of us have had some mini Ignite moments in this last week, something that's really touched them and inspired them, something that has really been heartfelt for you. I had a great conversation with my son this morning. He came into my room. I was working on my journal and we just started chatting. We just started chatting about, you know, the kind of stuff that doesn't normally happen. Usually we're always in task mode and we're always in function mode and we're doing this and we're commanding that. And we even do it to ourselves. How often do we not take the time to just listen to ourselves, ponder, think about things, reminisce, and just instead of like, I got to do this, I got to make a list, I got to get this done, I got to get that done, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. We're always in that rushing mode. And sometimes when we just level down and just calm down and just talk openly about not a to-do or not a function or not a teaching moment, actually beautiful conversations can arise. And so I had a credible Ignite moment. After the call, my son texted me a beautiful thank you, Mom. That was really great. And so these are precious Ignite moments, what we call mini Ignite. So anybody else have a kind of neat mini Ignite that has happened to them this week in the last couple of days? Anybody want to share? You can just put up your hand if you like. I'm going to look in the chat. You can share. Thanks. Happy birthday in advance. Yeah. Anybody got a little mini Ignite? Tammy, I'm going to ask you, girl, share with us a little mini Ignite in your life. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello. Love having you here.
Okay, so I was just thinking about this. I've got 3 daughters and they're all going through exam time this week, so end of year exams. And one of my twins, she's in year 8, so she's 13. She was zenning out in the garden yesterday, so I was thinking, I wonder why she hasn't getting around to revision and just, normally it's last minute cramming. And so I went out into the garden and said, well, how's your revision going? How do you feel about it? And she said, yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling really confident. I said, okay, well, your sisters are busy. Do you want to spend a bit more time? Is there anything else I can help you with? She was quite happy chilling in the garden because we've got beautiful weather right now. So no, I'm feeling good. So I was like, brilliant, okay. And part of me was a little bit worried that she was a bit too relaxed because I remember what I was like the day before exams. And today I went from my dining room into the garden and I saw this book on the side that my husband had brought in that she'd left outside yesterday, and it was a mindfulness book. I did have a quick peek because there was a pencil marked in and she'd written some beautiful stuff about being really mindful around appreciating the fact that it's such a great day and the birds are singing, sun's shining, and just really being present. And that's what she was doing when she was going out in the garden. It's the kind of stuff that I teach, but do you think my children actually use it during a stressful time? And there's me questioning, well, why are you studying? I'm relaxed. And she was actually using the tools that I teach. So that was a real Ignite moment for me. And I felt a bit bad for not trusting as well that, there's me second guessing what's going on here, and she was fine. And came back today saying, yeah, that the exams were great today. I'm going to go off and revise for tomorrow. So yeah, that was my Ignite moment.
I love it. Beautiful. Kids are such great mirrors, aren't they? They come to teach us magical things. All right. Anybody else want to share a little mini Ignite that they've had this week? Yeah, go ahead, Simona. Hello, my darling, and welcome.
Okay, hello everybody. Long time we don't meet. I've been a bit committed, and our time, time zone is very different. Anyway, happy to be with you today.
Thank you.
We had a great month, I have to say, and the last week has been really wonderful because my son came We don't live in the same country. We are in Italy at the moment, and he also came to Italy to stay with us. My husband was operated, and last week we went out for the first time after the operation, all together. So we decided to take half a day out. And in that moment, we had a very nice and exciting moment of sharing a lot of things. My son is changing his job, he's starting a new business. And, you know, he was telling me something that I taught him when he was very young. He's 42 now. And it was so good to see that I say, our children are like a soil, you know, you plant some seeds on them. And then it's beautiful to see that at that age, the love he has, the willingness to come and work from remote, to stay with us because of the operation and whatever. And also something I was telling him many years ago is somehow coming out during our sharing. He said, you see, Mom, I have to thank you because you gave us just few pillars, and then you gave us the freedom, and you teach us how to think and how to dream for a beautiful life, not to be contented with everything it comes. And, you know, that is a moment where you say, okay, thanks to God, the job that you've been doing is somehow coming back. His happiness and his resilience and the willingness. And I don't know how to express better, but it's been a really beautiful moment.
Thank you. You expressed it beautifully. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, obviously, children and emotions are on the heart of everybody today. And, you know, usually when we do Ignite Lives, I'm always teaching you about business and business and business. And today, based on my conversation with my son and with you all, and now with the two ladies who've shared, it's just confirming that today is a day that we're going to talk definitely about emotions. Now, emotions are the key triggers in our success. You can have the emotion of like, I can do this. You can have the emotion of like, I'll never get it done. You can have the emotion of like, I've got this, or you can have the emotion like the world is against me. And so emotions are such an important part of your business success. And so what I want you to do is I want to talk about emotions today and the power of emotions and how we can use emotions for our benefit. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of JB philosophy. I have this theory that when we're born, we have this beautiful piece of paper pinned to our birthday suit, and on that piece of paper is every single human emotion possible. In fact, we all know how God came to earth and as his son, Jesus Christ, and went through all of the emotions. And if you believe that, yes, you can. If not, you can think about Buddha, you can think about Allah, you can think about all of the other deities and all of the other gods and all of the other stories where there was this incredible experience of every single emotion. And so imagine that you were born with every human emotion pinned to your birthday suit, and your job as a human being is to experience every single emotion. That means throughout your life, you are going to feel betrayal and destitute and unhappiness and despair, along with feeling joy and happiness and delight and titillation and exuberance and euphoria. You are designed to feel every single one of those emotions. And what happens as human beings, our brain gets invested and we think like, I'm only supposed to feel the good ones. I'm only supposed to feel the joyful ones. If I was a good person, I would only have all the good emotions. And we get tangled up in the idea of what does it really mean to be a human being? And that is to feel every single thing. Every single emotion is ours to enjoy, ours to devour, ours to insatiate ourselves with. Every single emotion. And yes, some of those are difficult. And yes, some of those are hard. And yes, some of those hurt. But the interesting thing is every single one of those emotions gives us the gift of the lesson. Hands up if you agree, because I know some of you have been through grief and difficulty and stress and strain. And in hindsight, those emotions have created a greater experience of you. Now, sometimes we're like, I said this to Peter this week. I'm like, I need to have rhino skin because sometimes my emotions get caught up in things that are happening. Like, how do people do it? How are people successful when they're not wrapped up in their emotions? You got to just have rhino skin. You got to not think about anything. And I said the same thing to my mom. And you know what my mom said to me? Don't ever do that. Don't ever get rhino skin, because it's your emotions that drive you and push you. They inspire you, they motivate you, and then they teach you, they teach you so many beautiful lessons. So let's get to work here. Take your piece of paper and pen, and I want you to write down 3 positive emotions that you've had recently. Like, I'm not just talking, don't be generic. I want you to write down 3 very specific emotions you've had in the last little while that were very profound for you. Like, they were big, like they really, really touched you. Not just like, I felt happy, I felt excited. Like, I felt absolutely elated when, you know, we just booked our motorhome to go on our trip, and I'm so elated. Like, I'm so excited, like putting down the money on the motorhome to pick it up, to get it all wrapped, like it's happening. And that felt so powerful and exciting. So I want you to write down 3 emotions you've had in the last little while that were big for you: positive emotions, joyful emotions, good emotions. And if you want to put them in the chat, you know I love a little magic in the chat. And you're all writers and you're all creative. So get out your dictionary and find a new synonym for happy, or Google something that means more than just joyful. Put it in the chat. I'd love to see some challenges, some wordsmiths, some spelling bees. Put them in the chat of some 3 emotions that you have felt in the last little while that were positive, some joyful emotions. You know me, I love to say galactic. I was feeling galactic. And you know, sometimes people don't like to use the word prideful, but I like to use the word prideful because it means like I felt self-pride. I felt proud of myself. Loved up, elated, vivacious. There we go, girl. That was a good one. Love it, love it. Beatific. All right. I felt euphoric, warmed, energetic, and empowered. Now, great words. Keep putting them in the chat. What I want you to do now, across or underneath each one of the emotions that you wrote, I'd love for you to write the beautiful lesson that came from it. So Hege, when you felt vivacious, what was the beautiful lesson that was beneath that feeling? What was the lesson that you were getting told? Like, I feel vivacious, and so therefore this is the lesson, this is the gift, this is the treasure in that emotion. I was so excited that we finally, like, we're confirmed, we're going on our trip, we're on our way. And that feeling, that excitement, that euphoria, the galacticness of what we're doing made me feel the lesson in it was, when you put your mind to something, you can make it happen. The lesson in it was, when you go after something, it comes to you. The lesson in it is like, when you put the work and the time and energy into it, you get the results. So I'd like for you to take each of your 3 positive words and just give yourself a little bit of like, what was the lesson I got from that feeling? And I'm going to play a little bit of nice music for you. I think we can all agree that there are so many beautiful lessons in positive emotions. Many of us have gone on retreat, have sat in the ocean, at the top of a mountain, have been in peace and in quiet. Many of us have held our children or just held the hand of our partner or walked on a beach all by ourselves or sat in our swing on our porch and just had this feeling of contentment, this feeling of accomplishment, this feeling of self-worth and belief. And those amazing emotions come with beautiful lessons of you've got this, you know, you did a good job, you helped somebody else, you changed how someone else is going to feel. I'd love to hear from anybody. Put your hand up. Yeah, go ahead, Steph. Share with us any a positive emotion or a lesson that you got from one of your emotions.
I was trying to turn on my video there. There we go. Yeah, I've always struggled to say like when I feel proud of myself, right? But I did my uncover session with Alex yesterday, and she shared like how well that I wrote my story, and I was like blown away, right? Because I have had all these like limiting beliefs in my head, not just like for the process, but just naturally, right? Like I'm not a writer, I'm not an English major, you know? And I felt really proud when I was done. And then I actually, like I said to my husband what she had shared with me, and he was like, I'm not surprised. I was like, what? You know, so like yet again, then I was proud. So um my lesson is to write, like continue growing me and stop letting that little voice of negativity with those limiting beliefs, you know, overpower me in certain times, and you know, believe in myself more, right? Like I am capable, I am a writer, I can do this, right? And that's a lesson that frequently pops up for me, but not so much from like feeling proud of myself, just from other life experiences. So it was good to see it in a different way and have that validation.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as a loving community, I'm going to ask you to pause in that sentence because you said stop thinking of my limiting beliefs. So this is the fun thing that you get to do, is pausing in that, like start thinking how awesome I am, or begin believing how. So take your negative, which we all have them. We all have negative.
Right.
Take that negative and turn it into a positive. And then every time we say like don't or stop or can't or I won't, be like positive. JB's talking to me right now. Positive. How can I positive that into a sentence that affirms what I want? And so I'm so excited and proud and delighted for you because you learned a beautiful lesson. And then the great thing about that lesson of self-pride is like next time you bump up against something like, can I do this or not? It's like, oh yeah, remember that amazing lesson you learned when you did your story? And so lessons, these beautiful lessons are so powerful. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course.
You know, I'm a firm believer that lessons present themselves over and over and over again until we learn the lesson, right? So no matter what the situation is, if it keeps presenting itself and it's not one of those positive emotions and you don't have those warm and fuzzy feelings about it, it's because you haven't learned the lesson yet, right? So it's easy to sit here and say like, oh, I learned this lesson, but then it's doing something with it, right? Changing that mindset, changing that belief. And then that lesson will stop presenting and you'll get a new one, right? Because we're always have room to learn and grow.
Yes, it's so beautiful that you say that. Two things I'll share is like, I always say, if I didn't learn the lesson, the universe is going to up the ante. So I actually tell myself that, like, it's not that I'm going to get the lesson again. I actually am going to, like, the universe is going to up the ante and make it even more painful, more hard, more difficult, more like until you get it. And if you don't get it this next time, the universe is going to up the ante again. And so that's really my own proponent to be like, okay, let's learn this lesson. But I shared with my son this morning, he was sharing some of his feelings. And I said, it's like an old fashioned record. They make the groove in the record so that it can speak the music. And what happens is we get our groove on our own record in our mind gets so deep that it doesn't matter if we keep trying to swap out the record. That groove is so deep, like we swap out the record and it's still the same groove when we swap out the record. And so what I said to him is, you don't need to swap out the record. You need to get a new record, like a new reinvented or revised. So you go from a black record to a platinum record, because even though you feel like you're swapping out the record, the groove is still there. It's the same groove. It's the same groove, even though you keep bringing in a new record. And so I was like, you got to get a platinum record. You got to get like the new 2021 version of that record to get rid of that groove. You can't just keep swapping it out. And so I love that you said that, Steph. Such great info. All right, Renee, you've got your hand up. Share a little bit with us the lesson that you learned.
So the lesson that I learned this week was through my son, and it's my baby boy. And he got his driver's permit this week. And the thing that I love and that I got from him is his persistence. Each one of my children, when I was carrying them, I prayed over them and they gave me certain attributes. And this particular son, I named him courage and strength and persistence. And he did not pass the test till his 4th try. And the thing that I love about him is that he never gave up. And I love his persistence in it and his stuff. And when he came out with his driver's permit in this picture, he was so happy. I was excited. I was elated with him, and we were just rejoicing and all that good stuff. But the thing that I love about him is that his persistence, and he never gave up. So the lesson that I took, even during this process, is that he got it from me. Everything that he possesses is that he got it from me, and that we're winners. So I too will never give up on myself and never give up on my dreams. Even when writing this book and moving forward and telling my story, even though sometimes I don't understand and know what my trigger moments is, and I doubt myself, that I'll never give up and I'm going to be persistent. So that was the lesson that I learned, and that he reinforced it by how persistent he was and keep going. So courage and strength, he got it from me, and I'm going to act on it each and every time I pick up my pen or I begin to write in this book. Thank you.
Stunning. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's so true. I mean, our children choose us. Our children's our mirror of us. And so, when you see your kids acting in such a way that's beautiful, you know that it is a mirror of you. It is a mirror of you, and they are there for you. And I love that. Beautiful. Fantastic. Okay, great. You're all doing beautifully on today's Ignite Live. So let's step into the next level. I'd like you to write down 3 emotions you've had in the recently that weren't so great, that were challenging, that did hurt, that were tough. I want you to pick 3 quote unquote negative emotions that you had, or tough emotions that you had in the last week or 2 weeks. And again, I really want you to amplify them up. I don't want you just to be frustrated. I want you to list that time when you were like, enraged, or you were just, a puddle on the floor, or you were feeling so lost. And I want you to put some of those in the chat, because those too are emotions that are pinned to your birthday suit. And a lot of times we get embarrassed and we feel like, I should be better than that. I should be more evolved than that. I shouldn't feel that way. And what I shared with my son today is, he was talking about trust. And I was saying, honey, people are going to hurt you over and over and over and over again, because that is human nature. We are humans. We make mistakes. We don't always show up the best way we can. We don't always know what to do. We don't always have a manual. And so it's actually quite common to foresee in the next many years of your life, you're only 16, you're going to have that feeling of betrayal again. You're going to have that feeling where somebody let you down. And that's part of the list that's on your birthday suit. And so take a moment right now to list 3 emotions. I'll play a little bit of music that were challenging for you this week. And of course, you can put them in the chat. Okay, and just like the earlier, I want to see some emotions in the chat. Can some of you put it? There we go. Sad, angry, upset, belittled, betrayed, violated. Very great. Angry, disappointed, disappointment, encounters bullying at school, not being able to save the family members, overwhelmed. Great emotions. Now, the wonderful thing is, I want you to do the same thing you did with your joyful emotions, and I want you to take a bit of time to think about what are the lessons behind those negative emotions. And we only call them negative because that's just the word we've assigned in the human language. And in fact, if we really thought about it, are they negative emotions? They're just emotions. They're just another one of the emotions pinned to the birthday suit. In fact, if you took emotions and you put them in alphabetical order versus pro and con or positive and negative, they would just literally be emotions. Why is happiness any different than horribleness if you just put all the H's together? Like, we only assign that it's negative and we only assign that it's positive. So what I want you to do is think about the emotions that you just wrote. And I want you to take a minute to really understand and ask yourself, what were the lessons behind those feelings? What was the lesson that I was meant to learn? And for each and every one of those. And I'll play a little bit of music for you. You know, sometimes these are tougher because they bring up feelings of sadness and they bring up emotions and, you know, all kinds of inner turmoil. Like even me talking about it, my throat chakra is tight because sometimes when we look at these emotions and the lessons from them, they're deeper, they're more profound, they're more in our history, they're more in our cellular DNA, they're more in our karmic energy. And so sometimes we have to get deeper into these lessons because these lessons are more profoundly for us on a cellular level. And so if anybody would like to share, if you could put your hand up. But what I want you to know is that all of these emotions also have beautiful lessons behind them. And in all essence, an Ignite story is really about understanding the lesson behind some of the things that you've been through. I know all of you have had tough stories and tough situations and difficult things that have happened to you. And you now have been able to see the lessons in them and the gifts in them and the joy in them. And so what I want to share is that when we have emotions pop up, when any one of our birthday suit emotions show up, I sometimes say that to myself. I'll be like, why is this happening? And I'll be like, I guess it's a birthday suit emotion. Because the why is irrelevant. You know, why did the universe do this to me? Why did this happen? Why did she say that? Why did that person do that? The why isn't so much really the point. And that's what the brain does. The brain, I'll tell you guys this, the heart is designed to pump blood. The kidneys are designed to filter. The brain is designed to solve problems. And so the brain, in doing its duty, will be like, why is this happening? What is the problem? How do I figure this out? What is the solution? What do I do? What do I do? What they say? What they say? What happened here? Blah, blah. The brain is like, I got to figure out the problem. I got to make a puzzle to figure out a puzzle. And in fact, your brain will often do that. Like, I'm bored. So maybe, the truth is like, I'm going to create a problem because I'm bored and I want something to do because the brain is simply bored. So the truth is to bypass the brain, which is trying to solve a problem, is to sit into the emotion to figure out what the lesson is. So what is the lesson in this gift of this emotion? Not a good emotion, not a bad emotion, but here and designed to give me a lesson. And a lesson is also a gift. I know many of us have went to school and the word lesson came with, I don't know if you guys ever got the strap, but I got the strap in high school and in junior school. And I was meant to be taught a lesson. My parents spanked me. I was meant to be taught a lesson. And so we had sometimes the bad word around lesson, and maybe we could change that word to like, what is the gift? What is the gift in this emotion? What is the gift in feeling frustrated? What is the gift in feeling betrayed? What is the gift in feeling loss and grief? You guys all wrote such great things. What is the gift in feeling self-doubt? Well, the gift in it is the fact that you are now aware of it as an emotion from your birthday suit, not a punishment, or not, this happens to me all the time, or not like, if only I would have zigged instead of zagged, then this wouldn't have happened. It's actually there to create a lesson, a beautiful, beautiful gift for you. So the last part of this exercise is I want you to write down 3 emotions that you are avoiding. 3 emotions that you have been avoiding. A lot of us avoid conflict. A lot of us avoid forgiveness. A lot of us, and I want to say avoid in the sense that you're not like purposely going out and avoiding. You're like, I really know that I should step into forgiveness, but I'm not. I know I should step into loving myself, but I'm still angry at myself. I know that I should reach out to a friend and offer condolences, but I'm not. I know that I should, be happy for my friend, but instead I'm jealous and I'm not stepping into happiness. So I want you to write down 3 emotions that you could either bring more into your life, or that you could welcome more, or that you are just not dipping into as much as you could. 3 emotions, please. And of course, share them in the chat if you like. The reason I want to give you a little bit of extra time with this one is because we all know the adage of what we resist persists. So when we resist forgiveness, when we resist understanding, when we resist patience, it just persists. The universe just ups the ante, just keeps giving you the lesson. So when you're resisting forgiving or resisting reaching out or resisting being happy for somebody, the universe just keeps giving you more of that. It just keeps persisting on helping you feel that emotion that's going to give you the lesson. And so we all agreed at the beginning that with positive emotions, we love the lesson. We love seeing our children reflect in us. But when it's then the not so fun emotions, we don't want to know that our children are reflecting us. We all see the positive emotions of how good it felt that the person was saying the honest truth about how great my writing was. But then we don't want to really relate to the same belief system when the person is saying their honest truth about how they feel something different than what makes us us joy. But the law of the universe is it's equal on both ends. So if positive emotions have a beautiful lesson and not so positive emotions have a beautiful lesson, then the emotions that you're avoiding have a beautiful lesson. And so a lot of times we're avoiding an emotion because we think that the lesson isn't beautiful. But if the law works at all times, and that it does, if the law is always teaching you something beautiful, that's something that is for your greatest and highest good, then the emotion you're avoiding has a beautiful gift behind it that is for your highest good. Now, I remember my mom telling me, for many of you know, when I was 18 years old, my mom really dived into spirituality and personal growth. Actually, I was 17. And she went away to a Tony Robbins seminar and walked on fire while she was away. So think back, this is 1987. Like, who was doing a fire walk in 1987? Not very many people. And so she had kept it quite quiet and didn't share with all of us. When she came home from that weekend of enlightenment and power and inspiration with Tony Robbins and walked on fire, the first thing I said to her when she came in the door was, "Did you go get a facelift?" Because she looked so different. The pain and the anger and the frustration and the divorce and the disappointment and everything had been lifted from her. I literally thought my mom had a facelift because she looked so different. But the truth is, in all of that pain, there was a lesson. And she had started saying to me at 17 years old, everything that happens for your highest good. Everything that happens for your highest good. Everything that happens for your highest good. Those were words to me for a very long time that I didn't really understand. So if everything that happens to us actually happens for our highest good, if every emotion and every experience is actually unfolding for our highest good, isn't it actually totally uplifting and amazing to think that every emotion pinned to our birthday suit happens to us for our greatest and highest good? And so for those of us who are avoiding some emotions, I just want to free you today. I want to lovingly pour into you today because we're all connected by the cosmic cord. We're all in touch with each other. We're all intertwined. And the fact that we are here today in this moment, in this exact moment, it means even more than ever, we are deeply connected. The air that I breathe, you have breathed. It doesn't matter that you're Simona and you're in Africa. It doesn't matter that you're Susanna and you're in Hawaii. We are breathing the same air. And we are feeling the same things, and we are tugging on the same string of our humanity. And so any emotion that you are avoiding or not wanting to immerse yourself in, for whatever reason, your brain doesn't want to do it, your heart knows that there is a beautiful gift for you. There is a beautiful gift at the end of every single emotion. I hope that was helpful. I'd love for you guys to share. Does anyone want to take a moment to put their hand up and speak a little bit about this exercise? If anybody would like to share. It's not a coincidence that you're here hearing this. It's not a coincidence that you're learning that every emotion that happens in your life is just part of your birthday suit emotion. And I want to tell you, it's kind of liberating, because when something happens and you're like, like, why is that happening? You're like, birthday suit emotion. I guess God wants me to feel this time. I guess this has got a lesson in it for me. I guess there's something wonderful inside that I'm ready and meant to learn. And there's a great opportunity here. So I really hope that's helpful to someone. I know it was helpful to me. My son came and shared with me today. And, you know, when you sit down to write your story, you can do this exact exercise. What are the wonderful positive feelings I'm learning around my story? And what will that bring up? And what are some of the not so positive feelings I'm feeling around my story or my business or how I'm stepping out or my book being published? And now everybody knows, like, any of the things that you're going through, take those emotions and then ask yourself, what's the gift? What's the gift that the universe is giving me and making me feel this way, or allowing me to feel this way, or empowering me to feel this way? We all know that nobody can make you feel anything. So the feelings that you have are showing up for a fabulous reason, and they're showing up to give you some great gifts. And so I'm very, very, very blessed to share with you today, because sometimes when we are so busy and we're building our business and we're focused on the money and we're focused on the tasks and we're focused on the website and we're focused on the monetization and we're focusing on proving to everyone, I did it, I succeeded, look, I did it. And we want everyone to know where we've come and how far we've achieved. We sometimes forget about the emotional piece of it that's so important to us. And even when we show up for these calls, we show up looking our best and feeling our best, and we think everybody else on the call is doing great except me. And sometimes we're not doing great. And so I just want to give you all safe space to know that you don't have to be doing great every day. In fact, there is so much power in feeling lousy, because if you would never felt lousy, you would never feel happy. If you never felt disappointed, you would never feel blessed. If you didn't feel ripped off, you would never feel lucky. So they all come with each other. And every single one of them has a beautiful lesson and a beautiful, beautiful gift. And so as you break out into your networking sessions, what I want to share with each of you is that I'd love for you to introduce yourself to one of our amazing Ignite authors. Tell them a little bit about what you do and where and what and how quickly you do it. We talk about that. Hi, my name's JB. I have an international publishing house. I help authors tell their amazing transformational story in a 4-month process. Boom, done. You've got it. You know exactly what I'm about. So get into the practice of saying that, because as you go out into the world, as COVID opens up and we all start traveling and we all start doing stuff, you're going to have the opportunity to meet people and share with them what you do. And a lot of the brand new international best-selling authors last week, I had them practice saying it, because sometimes it's even hard to say it out of your mouth. I'm an international best-selling author. You need to practice saying it so you get the confidence and the emotional connection to it. And so when you go into your networking right now, I'd love you to introduce yourself, tell people what you do, tell people how quickly you do it. And then I'd love for you to share a little bit about a lesson that you've recently had. Now you can share a positive one, a heartfelt one, whatever, but I just love for you to share a little bit of a lesson that you learned. And you can take out the word lesson and replace it with gift or blessing or insight or awakening, whatever that is, a little awakening that you've had, something that has prompted you, or just some little gift, some golden nugget that the universe has dipped down and placed onto you, some magic. All right, Peter, are you ready to share with everyone and get people to split up? I would love that, and move everybody into their groups and share a little bit. We'll give you each 2.5 minutes. So it'll be a 5-minute break for each of you guys to share.
Okay, you're all ready.
All right, have fun, everybody. Hey, Peter, can you bring everybody back?
Yep, just click the button.
Alrighty, welcome back. I hope that was wonderful for everybody and enjoyable and heartfelt. And I hope there was some sentimental sharing and a little bit of beauty. Does anyone want to introduce somebody who has not yet been introduced to our community? Has anyone not been introduced? Who interviewed with Suzanne?
Honey, I did. This is Kathleen.
All right, Kathleen, tell us a little bit about Suzanne, one of our newest Ignite members. Welcome to
Yes.
Ignite Live, Suzanne.
This was her very first time. And it was just, so she said, well, will you teach me, you know, which was really interesting about what to do. But she is an amazing lady who is in real estate in Hawaii. However, she has, her faith has led her to focus on something that's much higher than what we normally think of as just living our life and getting caught up in our life. So she has this amazing vision of what she wants to do. And she doesn't see herself as a writer, but she has such clarity with what her purpose is that I don't think she'll have any difficulty at all writing her story. And she said that she's signed up to be in the Hunger book, but I also told her about your writing class, your 5-week course. Are you still doing that?
Yes, thank you.
She might want to do that too.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Beautiful.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, Suzanne, we love having you here. Suzanne is in Hawaii, an incredible new member of the Ignite community. So for anybody who wants anything to know about Hawaii, or you're always welcome to reach out to Suzanne and all the amazing authors on the Ignite platform. When I look out onto the board and I see all the beautiful faces, and I have memories and thoughts and your stories and the sharings and the connections and the time after and the time before and all the ways that we've met and seen each other and been together in places. It's super, super, super inspiring. It's beautiful and it's a blessing to me. Each and every one of you have given me great lessons and great gifts and great blessings. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you so, so, so much. And the saga of love and igniting lives continues and continues and continues. So blessings to each and every one of you. Have a great and amazing week. We are looking forward to the power of Friday, which is our author journey mastermind for our Hungry to Speak people. We have an amazing candlelight conversation on Friday. Lots of fun stuff. If you don't have a date on Friday, join us for candlelight conversations. Of course, you can take the lessons you learned here today and share them with your community. Big hugs and kisses to you. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a great day, everybody. Unmute yourself and blow some kisses.
And happy birthday.
Mwah.
And happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Yes,
birthday.
thank you.
Thank
Birthday,
you.
baby.
All right.
Have a
Looking
good
forward
time.
to
Happy
it.
birthday.
No, I know. All right. Take care, everybody. Love you.